Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at vintage trading cards. These are for my personal collection. I've had these since they first came out, so I haven't really picked up any trading cards in years. Like I said, I got these out of my closet. They were stored away for many years. Had them as a teenager. These are the Extra-Terrestrial, the E.T. in the movie. These came out in 1982. I believe there's a total of 87 cards, including the checklist card. This is a full, complete set here. I do have a couple of duplicates. It's been such a long time since I've had these, since I picked them up, since I've had them as a teenager. So, kind of showing my age, I guess. But let's look at these. The first card here. You can see there's 87 total. This is the first complete. I think this is one of the only complete set of vintage cards if I can recall. The ones you see in the background there, I'll do separate videos on each one of those and kind of show you what I have in those collections, those vintage cards per se. So yeah, I've decided, let's take a look at some of my vintage cards from back in the day when I was a teen, when they first came out. Like I said, I have not been buying any trading cards in many, many years. So like I said, I can't remember the last time I ever did buy a trading card. I'm thinking about maybe picking up some trading cards, maybe looking at the Dragon's Lair cards that came out last year. So that's probably the only thing I might pick up and maybe do some videos on, but I don't plan to get into the trading card collections. Like I said, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, I kind of, go into gaming, figures, collectibles and stuff, but yeah, I don't want to go into that, get wrapped up into that, because that can get kind of expensive, and yeah, there's a lot of things. There's so many different things out in the trading card world. I'm kind of been out of the loop, you can say, per se, but yeah, here you can see. We're going to go through each card. I'll flip it over to the back, and you kind of, if you want to pause it and kind of see what it says, I'm not going to, be on there too long on the back. I'm just going to show you each card. So if you're not familiar with the movie, I'm sure you are. If you're my age and, seen them, on video, VHS, or even the theater, like I remember seeing this in the theater from back in the day, and definitely one of my, I won't say my all-time favorite movies, but it's definitely a favorite movie. Definitely seen it many times, and I almost forgot I had these cards, to tell you the truth. There's a lot of cards that when I was going through them late last year, they were in a closet in a little metal box, stored away, and I figure recently I just picked up these, you can see these the acrylic cases for each of the cards. I kind of went through each of the cards, sorted through every one of them, and kind of put them all in order. So like I said, I'll just keep an eye. Like I said, I'll be dropping some videos going through each of those cards you see in the background there, kind of going through what I have in each collection and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, like you see these ET cards, they're pretty fairly good conditioned. I think there's a few, that this card set. I completely, like I said, I did not even realize I had the whole complete set of ET. So yeah, pretty impressive, I guess. Bought a lot of packs. I don't have the original packaging for none of these cards. I know there's a lot of collectors out there, and they still got these still in big boxes. They still sell them in boxes, the packs, what you'll see in the store from back in the day, and they go for a pretty good hefty price. But yeah, just kind of glad to have these cards still in my possession. Always held on to them, for over these years. So it's pretty neat to have, kind of share, if you want to look at it. But like I said, if you want to skip ahead, you're welcome to. I don't know if I'll talk through the whole video. I'll probably, more than likely, will kind of, maybe there's some cards in there that kind of stand out. I'll make a remark or some comment on it. But yeah, like I said, these are pretty cool. Like I said, I think the last few cards, they're pretty much show kind of behind the scenes kind of stuff. And there's all the stickers. I do have a few duplicates. The stickers, I'll show you some of the stickers at the very end after I show all the cards in this particular set. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I do have which is kind of interesting. I don't think I have all the complete stickers. I'm not really familiar if I do have all the stickers. I probably don't, but I haven't really did any research and see if I do have all the stickers. But got a pretty decent amount. If I did, I don't think I misplaced them. Like I said, I had all these in one box. So, but yeah, I think I maybe have a few handful of sports cards. I never really got into the sports back in the day. Mostly, like I said, most of the pop culture kind of Star Wars, You can see in the background I've got Charlie's Angels cards, and it's a few other different cards that you don't see too many that I have, and I'll go over those in separate videos. Very interesting to see. But yeah, you can kind of see these cards. Like I said, nowadays the cards have gotten better quality, and you got a whole bunch of different base cards. You got stuff with all these different prints, lenticular prints, and just all kinds of more thicker, nicer cards. So they've really gotten more. They've evolved, I guess, through the trading card. If you're big into cards and stuff, you would definitely know. I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but yeah, just like I said, I've been out of the loop, out of the trading cards for a while. But yeah, it's kind of neat that each one has a little bit different. And like that, I think the stickers, as you'll see, some of the cards, even some of the cards, I know the Charlie's Angels cards from back in the day, they had a puzzle in the back. There's pieces, and I think the stickers on this set had a puzzle, real simple puzzle of but these didn't have it. It's kind of like they kind of described pretty much what the picture is of that card particularly. Time for a snack. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I've was real surprised. Like I said, I think I'm trying to remember my very first card. Being that long ago, I can't remember which trading card I got. Could have been actually in the very background. You'll probably see that Princess Leia. That's from the Wonder Bread. You used to get cards like in your Wonder Bread. And I've got a few of those cards. I'll show you those, like I said, in a separate video. So if you're wondering what that, if you didn't know, some people know, but that card right there, Princess Leia in the background, is from Wonder Bread. That you would get a card when you buy a loaf of bread. So that was pretty cool to get something like that. So that could have been, maybe that was my first foray into buying trading cards or getting, collecting trading cards from back in the day. So, but yeah, this is, so they pretty much kind of interesting. They got all these different little snippets from the movie and stuff. So it's going in sequential order of the movie if you saw it. The Tipsy Alien. That was a pretty cool, fun scene right there. I remember that. Watching that. Trouble for Elliot. Yeah, there's one. I think recently I went back on YouTube and watched some of the panels. Some of the cast members have gotten back together and gone through some different conventions and stuff. And it's kind of cool seeing these guys all grown up now and kind of reminiscing, kind of talking about their times during this making of this movie. So, like I said, it definitely has some little special part, little things of my growing up. So definitely, especially this movie, that definitely holds a special place in, I guess, in good old nostalgia in my youth, I guess you could say. Comic strip strategy. It's kind of interesting that in the very bottom is notice that they kind of tell you the next card to look forward to. So what does it say? Continue on card 39, the listeners. And there's that next card. A present for Mom. Oh yeah, the infamous Reese's Pieces. Elliot's disguise. Yeah, it's kind of interesting when I was think the angle was looking at these, putting these cards together and stuff. Yeah, like I said, it was just bringing back like memories. Like I said, some of the cards I completely forgot I had in my collection of vintage cards from back in my youthful days, I guess my teenage days. So it's kind of neat to kind of see some of these. And there's a few cards in there that I think I'm trying to remember what card. I know I might have picked some cards. Some of these cards, like I said, I was an Army brat, so I lived in Germany for like 9 years. And so I've got some stuff from Star Wars, some sticker books and stuff in German. I got some German sticker books that were kind of similar to like a trading card. Maybe I'll do a video on that and kind of show you those, because that was kind of different and kind of unique. And I don't know if they had that in the States or not, because I remember seeing Star Wars back in the day in Germany. And E.T., I can't remember where I saw that. It was probably in the States and stuff. But yeah, I pretty much lived out in Germany for quite many years, being an Army brat. My dad was stationed out there. And I think I do have some like older cards. I might have picked some stuff when I was out there. Like I said, I even have some comic books from German comic books I read in German when I was a kid and stuff. So I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll feature a video like that to kind of show you some of the stuff I've had. Like I said, I know that Star Wars one was pretty cool. It had it's all in German. It was a sticker book and stuff. It was oversized. It was definitely not like 8.5 by 11. It was definitely oversized sticker book. Maybe I'll kind of feature that and show you guys that. And it's kind of related to the, sticker packs, trading cards. I mean, I even got some tops. I don't want to say they're bigger cards. I mean, they're not this size, oversized, I guess. I still got them in the original wrap. They were individual. I think it was The Empire Strikes Back. So maybe I might end up feature those as well in a couple of future videos. Like I said, this is going to be a series. I'm going to probably do a video. I mean, I'm still going to do my normal content, but I'll probably do a lot of these vintage trading cards videos, kind of just showing, what I have in my collection. And maybe somebody has never seen some of these, each of these cards. Like I said, this ET, I'm going to go through each one. Hope you're not getting too bored kind of seeing these, but it's kind of neat to kind of show you the whole complete set of this ET. I'm kind of glad I got this, the whole set. So I don't know how I end up. I don't think I ever did any trading with other friends and kids and stuff. I don't think I pretty much, parents bought the cards, with packs and stuff. And I probably had bought enough of these things probably to complete have a complete set. So I was real surprised. I don't know how many packs of these that my parents bought me. Because I don't think my brother, I don't know if he actually collected any cards himself, but like I said, yeah, back in the youthful days, like I said, cards was one of the deals, and some comics, and a lot of toys and stuff, G.I. Joe and Star Wars vintage. And I think I do have a video on some of them are vintage Star Wars toys. I'll probably maybe do some more videos too, showing some of my vintage toys I have still in my collection. Like I said, all the Star Wars vintage I've got, I still have them. The vehicles, the figures, everything. So I never got lucky. My parents never got rid of them. I've always kept them had them since back in when they come out, 78, 77. So yeah, I've had them forever. It's just like all these cards as well. Let's see, we're on. You're killing us both. So we're getting kind of close to almost getting, let's see, what are we on, number 57? So yeah, so we're almost halfway there, a little more halfway there, getting to each card. So if you're sticking around and watching this, I appreciate you guys sticking around, not getting too bored. I was thinking about maybe put some music, continue the rest of the video with music, but I don't know. Like I said, maybe try to get engaged and give you some antidotes, maybe some, like I said, I don't want to ramble all the way through this video. I mean, there's so much you can talk and let, pretty much the cards pretty much speak for themselves. There's really, just kind of showing each of the screenshots, I guess, just like the Star Wars cards and some of these cards from even nowadays, I guess. Like I said, I've not been in the trading card world for quite a while, so I'm sure they've pretty much got more sophisticated with, any movie cards and stuff. But yeah, these were definitely brings back some good nostalgia and some memories of these cards here. So yeah, I don't know. I may end up putting these in penny sleeves. I don't know. Put a sleeve in each one. I might pick up some, they're pretty inexpensive, I guess. I can pick up a couple of packs. So right now I just got them in these acrylic cases. for now. So maybe these complete sets are, like I said, they're still in pretty good condition. No bent corners I can see. Everything is in pretty solid shape. So maybe I might end up putting these in. I don't know. I don't think I don't have them. Not going to put them in. I don't know if I'll put them in binders or folders, like I said, just for room wise and stuff. I don't think I have any. Might just end up putting these in maybe penny sleeves and stuff. Some of these, and but like I said, if I do buy any more trading cards, any new ones, I'm thinking I got my eye on the Dragon's Lair cards from last year. From I think it's Cardsmith is the company. So I might end up if I do pick those up. If I do pick up those, I definitely will do an opening video, I guess. So I'll probably actually do my first card opening video. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, in the meantime, like I said, I'll just kind of show you these some of the stuff from my own vintage collection. So if you do like these, continue on. Like I said, just leave a comment, or just feel free to leave a comment, or just say, hey, yeah, I've got those, or I remember those cards. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully this video could maybe inspire people, maybe get be helpful. Just if you guys do have your own, do have these cards from from back in the day, just kind of some nostalgia, I guess. Kind of like to share some of this stuff, what I have and stuff. So I thought, like, yeah, these are cool. I almost forgot I had these trading cards, and let me do some, maybe put these together. I've been thinking about doing these since last year. Maybe I'll feature these on a video. But yeah, I didn't want to go too long in the video. Some of those other ones might be not as long as this video. This video probably, I think this, like I said, this is probably more than longer ones. Cause like I said, this is probably the only set that I have complete. Because all the Star Wars, I do have a lot of Star Wars trading cards. And I don't think I might have. I'm trying to think one of the Star Wars ones. I might have one that's could be complete. I'm not exactly sure. It's like I said, it was late last year. I don't know if they Return of the Jedi, one of the series of those cards, if it's complete. So we'll have to maybe do a video and kind of see if I do have a complete set of that one. But I know, like I said, this for sure. This is the one that's from back in the day, from the original. It's complete. So yeah, I just kind of was curious. Went online and see what these cards now, these vintage cards, are selling for, and they're all over the place. I mean, there's some that I'm trying to think if I've seen any of these. There's a few. Like I said, I've seen some vendors that had a couple of packs, like the whole box with them. But if you buy those, there's no guarantee you're going to get have a complete set. Just like you're just a luck of the draw. See what you open up. Yep, that one pretty much. The first one that fell. Let me get back to some focus. So yeah, 77, getting close. So let's do this next one here. Enter the ship. Yep, entering the ship. This is getting close to the movie's almost ending, and then the cards is almost ending as well. This but like I said, if you're sticking around this far, I really appreciate you guys for doing that. Hanging out. Like I said, it's really fun to kind of share some of these with you guys, just to see if if you're in the trading cards or not in the trading cards. Just kind of curious to see where it all started from back in the day. Trading cards have been around for way before I think I was born. But yeah, so Interstellar Garden. Yeah, these scenes. I'm trying to remember if I even remember some of these scenes. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. We've got 7 more cards to go. So if you let's see here. This one is Return to Outer Space. What we got here? Yeah. So Elliot's family. So this is probably just a portrait. Some of these right here, like I said, these are just kind of. I'm trying to think. Yeah, some of these probably made for the movie. Yeah, there's just probably a nice family portrait. Okay, cool. So some of these are. Yeah, here's behind the scenes. E.T.'s director, Steven Spielberg. Cool. Yeah, so it's kind of cool that they actually put some little behind the scenes stuff in these last ones here. So filming the aliens. Yeah, these are all behind the scenes cards. So this was kind of cool, unique, especially not seen in magazines or in the internet back in the day. Kind of seeing the behind the scenes kind of stuff like this and the cards, which is pretty cool. I mean, I know there's magazines. I still have some magazines probably that kind of would show some behind the scenes photos, but it was really as a youth, a kid, seeing this for the first time from back in '82 when these cards came out, kind of seeing the behind the scenes stuff was pretty cool. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. And one more after this should be the checklist, and then we'll go through the stickers. It shouldn't be too long. We'll go through some of the stickers I have. There's, like I said, I have a little pile of a lot of duplicates of this, and so I do have a lot of duplicates. And there's the checklist, 1 through 87. Go to the back, and there's continuation. There it is, 87 checklist. So yeah, complete. So this next few minutes of the video, which is not too long, we're just going to go through some of the stickers that I do have with this. It just came with with these cards. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then there's the puzzle piece. This is with Gertie and ET. So I think I have a few. This one I think I have a duplicate. I remember seeing it. There was I think I might have 1 or 2 duplicates of this one, this sticker. And there's the family portrait again. They made that from the card into a sticker again. And there is another one. And this was kind of unique with a different, that's kind of different. Pretty cool. Let's see, and that's pretty much, I think that's pretty much the last one. So appreciate y'all guys sticking around. Be sure to subscribe for new ones. And like I said, I'm going to drop some more videos and going through every one of these cards you see in the background that I have, from Star Wars to Charlie's Angels, and there's a few other ones in there that I can't recall. But yeah, till the next one, take care.